ho ho! Merry Christmas! Thank you very much for coming down and joining me in the basement today. As if you don't know, my name is Jeremy with Too Many Hobbies, and this is a continuation of the last video that I released on Christmas Eve 2024, where we went through the Chicago and Alton set, which was in really great condition, but just needed work from sitting in the box for all those years, from 1981. In this video, we're going to take a look at a couple little Christmas decorations I bought at, Hobby Lobby. And we're also going to take a look, the main reason for this video is to take a look inside this guy and check it out. This thing looks awful nice, so I don't think this is going to take us too long at all to get working. I'm sure it works already, but we'll tune it up and make sure it works good. Second thing we're going to look at is the track cleaning car. I've never used one. I got to do a little research, but we'll take apart the motor and check it out and go from there. Hope your Christmas is going great, and I wanted to say thank you very much for watching the channel. This is the last video for this year. I do have some cool stuff planned for 2025. Hope you stay tuned for that. But let's move the camera and get a little closer to the action. I wanted to show you this guy. I saw Datified actually had a small wreath on one of his engines. Like, that's pretty cool. I could do a little small wreath. So this is what I got at Hobby Lobby. This is pretty big for O scale, but what I did on the caboose on this train here is I was able to this is just a pipe cleaner, I was able to bend it around, twist it, make it a little smaller diameter. It works great. But let's get this stuff out of the way. And let's see here. Show you the caboose. So I was able to make it a little smaller, and the package of stuff here came with some little wire ties, and I was able to repurpose them. They kind of look like ropes, maybe holding something like this on. So I've also got something on the tail end of the passenger car of the Chicago and Alton. And I put a little something on the front of that as well. But let's get this guy out of here. Hello. Okay, here's what I got on the front of the Chicago and Alton. Just the little wreath that I resized. It looks okay. It's not great, but, something a little different, something festive. And there's the back. We got the wreath tied on here to the hand railing. Looks really good. One thing I forgot to mention when I was putting the boxes away for the Chicago and Alton, there was this envelope inside the observation car box. I think it's a drum head. It's just a circular dark shape that's in the envelope, but it's been factory sealed. Let's open it up and see what we find. Boy, this envelope does not want to open very nice. Oh well. Oh, we got a possibly an instruction sheet. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, we got a flat disc. Maybe there's something else in here. Oh, there's a decal. Yes. What do you know? Water slide decal, Chicago and Alton Limited. That's pretty cool. We'll definitely have to put that on later. Very nice. Oh, it's just a straight sticker. Well, that works too. Nice condition, though. Alright. Cool. On to the main project of the video. Alrighty, and doing a little research on this guy, and looking at this book right here, Greenberg's Guide to Lionel Trains, I find that this is a 1977 EMD NW2 with blue and white body, white lettering, and lights. And it has two variations. One is operating couplers, and one is with a 3-position unit, and the other one is fixed couplers with 2-position. And we have fixed couplers here. There's no disc on there or anything, so this is just plain Jane stuff. But that doesn't tell me a whole lot. It tells me more about the engine, but I kind of want to know how it came in. So we look at this book, Greenberg's Guide to Lionel Trains Volume 2, which has sets in it. And this is, since I knew the year, is much easier to find. It came in the 1761 Cargo King, which included a switcher, this switcher, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But that's just kind of fun stuff to do. Let's find out if this guy works or not. Alright. Somebody was selling it for 65 bucks at one point. I did not pay that for it. Maybe I'll toss up what I paid for this guy. Let's put it on here. I don't know. I think this is probably active. Let's find out. Yeah, well. Hey, here's reverse. Yeah, it's a 2-position reverse unit. So it should be moving right now. It doesn't want to go forward. There we go. Hey, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Alright, that works. Yeah, it's a 2-position reverse unit, forward and reverse, so needs a little work, but that's okay. Now this guy should only power the brush, because this is freewheeling. It's meant to be towed by another train. So let's see if this thing even spins here. I don't know. I've never used one of these. I hear they're pretty noisy. And just motor on with here. Wheels need cleaning. There you can see the brush going around. Let me move you a little closer. Alright. Time to take a closer look at this guy. This lever's bent, so he probably moving just scraped up the shell, but oh well. Little scratch there. Let's move the trailer out of the way. I did straighten up some of the steps already, and the railings. They look pretty good. This one's still a little bent here. You can see it's a little jagged, but that's okay. Steps are kind of bent in. This side looks real nice. Top looks good. Only one screw on these, which is what I really love about products from this era. They're really meant for manufacturing, quick manufacturing. One screw on the front. Not very prototypical, but that's all about easy manufacturing. Okay, inside the shell looks real nice. Let's see if we can bend this guy a little bit. Let's get a pliers. Okay, my favorite pair of pliers here. Let's see if we can straighten this up a little bit. Okay, I don't really want to bend it more at the base. There, that should be pretty good. Let's do a little test run. Okay, that's still real close there. Let's bend her a little more here. Don't want to bend it too much, that feels like the kind of metal that'll snap if you bend it too much. Okay, that looks like it's clear. Alright, yeah, this thing looks just really super nice and clean. Hard to believe it's from 77, but man, really nice. Okay, got our cheapo light bulb in here. Alright, let's pull off, yep. Let's pull off the top motor here. So since we have a 2-position reverse unit, it's important to note that we do have an insulating washer on this connector. Very important, because this is a grounded peg that this goes through. I'll have to untwist these just to get some room. Alright, spread some stuff out. Not sure why we weren't really going into reverse, but might have been the connections in here. or have difficulty going forward, actually. The brushes will stay out. There we are. Yeah, hardly ever been run. Oop, there's the brushes. Yeah, looks fine. We'll clean it up, wipe it down a little bit. Alright, and yes, the commutator is barely any markings on it or whatever. Alright. We look good down there. Let's see how our wheels feel. They're good. Need a little bit of lubrication, of course, but it's nothing serious. Alright, let me just clean this thing up, and I'll be right back. About halfway done here, and I kind of thought I'd show you what I did. Took my Scotch-Brite, and I cleaned up the commutator, and you can see right here, there's actually an indent of where the brush was sitting for so many years, so that's kind of different. It's not going to hurt anything. Another thing I did was I took this Scotch-Brite and I cleaned up the contacts right here. There's a couple metal bars here and here, and there's a little lever that just glides across them, and I cleaned those up. That should help our not going into forward issue, hopefully, and just using it should get better. And I found something interesting. When I was slowly rotating this in the other direction, I'm putting the same amount of pressure, but the wheels it's not turning. It gets real stiff at one point, and then it eases up. Then it's easy, and then it gets hard. I think what the deal is it's excess lubrication that is hardened on the bottom of the gears. So I'm going to get in there with this tool and just kind of scrape out all the old stuff, put in some new grease, and hopefully that'll work. See, the forward, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do it at all. But if I do it the other way, it does. So that's different. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you. Because they've used different color wires, it's super easy to see the two pairs of windings that are on the field coil here. And that's so the two-position reverse unit can change direction without having a three-position reverse unit, which is more expensive. In a three-position reverse unit, they change the electrical orientation of the brushes, but on the two-position, they just alternate the coil here that goes around the field coil, so it's two separate windings. Pretty interesting stuff. Okay, all ready to assemble the motor, and I just thought I'd show you this little trick. It's pretty self-evident, but the first one I did, I didn't even realize it. But to assemble this motor without the brushes falling out, you could set them on there, or you could take the springs out, bend some things around, but it's just easier if you set it in there and then rotate everything up. Like I said, pretty self-explanatory, but it's not always obvious. Okay, there we go, we're in. And this is the backlash adjustment, which I think is really cool. This is the first engine I've had that has had that little adjustment in there to keep the backlash being from excessive, so I'll test that. Okay, I brought out my Allen key set here, and what I did was I loosened this up just a tiny bit. I wasn't really getting any up and down movement, because if you rotate the wheel, you should be able to see just a tiny amount of movement up and down here. See if I can hold it steady enough here. You can kind of hear it. But yeah, just a very tiny amount of up and down movement is what you want. Let's get this trolley off the track, and we'll give it a test. Alright, so basically this has no neutral position, so it should go forward or backward. I'm going to say that's a success. Now there we go. Motor just needs a little breaking in, I think. Alright. Well, this is a super easy to assemble, this sucker. Let me try to get these wires a little bit nicer like they were. Of course, now they'll probably be too tight and a wire will break, but you know what? We'll fix it if that happens. Okay, put this in off position. I'm really not happy with how that sucker's still sitting there. I find it interesting that they actually bothered to use 2 screws to hold this in, post where they'd only use 1. Right, let's give this a big tweak. Alright, try that. Yeah, well, it's not perfect, but it'll be okay. Hey, got it without dropping the screw. That's pretty good. Alright, now I'm going to gently tighten this so it doesn't crack the shell. Let's hook it up to the Christmas train here. Alrighty, let's see what you do. Yeah, a little noisy. I don't think that motor's really the greatest of designs. Let's get the other train going. There's the wreath there. Whoa, this electromotive guy definitely prefers reverse to forward, but I think that's just the design of the motor. Let's take a look at this guy. This is where you'd put the fluid. I think it just has the 1 screw in the back. Again, I love the design of these. They are designed for ease of manufacture. Alright, pretty straightforward. See, it's been used a little. We got a little bit of dirt build up and whatnot, but yeah, I like this. This is all cast, so it's heavy and lays down on the track good. Get the light on. Alright, so pretty straightforward here. Let's pop these off and see how it looks. It's kind of interesting, the brushes are not locked into the wires there, but they might not have cared about that when they assembled it at the factory. Yeah, I don't believe this one's been apart. I don't believe it's been run much either. This motor only runs the brush. Does not propel the unit at all. And we got a stuck brush right there, sticking right in there. Ooh, yeah, we got we got excessive lubrication there, which is bound to happen. Very simple mechanism. Just got probably like 3 gears in here. I think this is staked on here. Oh, no, we got some nuts. Let's get those off. Alright, let's see if I got a socket small enough for that. Barely. What is this? This is 5mm. Not quite right, but it'll work. Nice. Okay, excellent. This is great. I was hoping we'd have this kind of access. Alright, so we got an additional gear to what I expected. So, let's see if we can pull this off. Is that a washer? Nope, no washers. Again, very basic design here. Interesting. So we'll pull off. This just pulls off like that. Okay. And this gear is held on by some clips here, I believe, hopefully. Don't want to break it. Let's try some pliers. Oh, this is definitely a washer. Yep, that's a washer. I'll have to look in the parts book, see if there's a washer missing or something. We want this to run as efficiently as possible. Oh, guess I didn't have to do that. Those clips are just to hold in the brush. Hold in there. Well, good thing I didn't push on it. So, yeah, it was definitely dry lubrication here, and as you can see, dry there. So, let me clean it on up. And I'll probably end up taking this out to the garage and hosing it down with some brake clean or something. But this will clean up just fine. This is, I believe, the same armature that they probably use in the whistle. Well, everything cleaned up absolutely perfect with my favorite solvent, naphtha. Took it out to the garage and cleaned the cluster gears, as they're called. These are really sharp gears. Usually on gears you find that the edges have been deburred, but these are very sharp. It's kind of interesting. And thanks to this book here, you should definitely buy one of these if you have any post-war stuff. And even if you don't, it's good to see how stuff is built. But in here we got the 3927 track cleaning car, and this is a normal view. Nothing too surprising there, but found something interesting here. They show the washer, instead of going under one of the gears, they show it on top of the motor, which makes sense. So that would control the amount of backlash the motor would have. Not backlash, but thrust. So it's like a thrust bearing. So, yeah, very interesting. Plus, I mean, I knew kind of how the car operated, but it gives you a nice description of how stuff operates and tells you not to use, especially, it tells you to use the Lionel fluid, but definitely do not use fluids containing tetrachloride. So, I don't even know if there are fluids containing that any more easily obtainable. But, yeah, everything cleaned up great. The little barrel bearing was in there, so yeah, very nice. Time to clean this thing up, or actually, it already is cleaned up. Time to reassemble it. I'm going to use some Super Lube synthetic grease. So that should work pretty well. I'm even going to use grease on these shafts, because these shafts aren't turning fast enough to build up heat and whatnot, so, or any kind of serious heat, let me say. Let's see here. This guy goes in here. Definitely want to get a little bit of, just a little bit of lubricant on this, because this was pretty darn dry. Really only need a thin film on the wear surfaces here. That should work much better. Alright. These are the same diameter gears. I don't exactly recall which one goes where. So I think the bigger one would tend to go here. Yeah. This grease is certainly thick. But it'll thin up a little bit once the motor is going. And this guy must go here. Yep. Not a problem there. Let's put just a little bit. And we don't really want grease slinging all over the place because we just need a film of it on the gears. So we'll just put a little bit on one of the gears, or two of the gears actually. Maybe all three, but just a little bit. Put some on the big one here. That way it'll work its way around. I might need a thinner grease for this guy. This stuff is pretty thick. Now for the motor, I'll put a little oil in this bottom bearing here. Probably quite a bit. This is an oil light bearing. It's porous and it will soak up the extra oil. Nice. Okay, there we go. Lock this guy in here. Beautiful. Oops, I forgot. I actually haven't used it yet, so we still got that washer that goes on the motor. There it is, right here, right in front of me. And these screws are going into a cast piece, so I don't want them to be too tight. Suppose I should run a Q-tip in here. Make sure. Oh yeah, look at that. Dirt, grease. That'll cause a brush to hang up. Okay, I think that's good. Gotta put our thrust washer on the motor, carefully. That's supposed to fit on the motor and it doesn't. There could have been a production change. Alright, let me stop the video. I'm sure I've got a thrust washer, and we'll investigate if I need to put that washer under that gear. Okay, it's all roughly assembled, and I polished up the wheels with the Dremel. Used a little Dremel bit that's got like Scotch-Brite on it. Assembled the brush plate here and align the brushes with the springs. You don't have to do that. It's just something I like to do. I'm just going to run it without the brush. We'll just kind of see what it does. If anything. Oh, yeah. Guess we got to turn it on, huh? There we go. Well, I've heard they were noisy, and this doesn't disappoint. Let's pop the brush back on here, or the... Where does this go? Let's fire it up again. Let's put it on, I don't know, 13. Yep. It works. Excellent. Let's put the body back on. The exterior looks fine on the body. I'm not even going to polish it or clean it. Rare for me, I know. Beautiful. That should work really good. I'll just pull the brush off and maybe tow it around with the after the caboose. That might be kind of comical. All right, let's wrap it up. Clean everything up and wrap this one up. Well, there you have it. Everything's working pretty good, and I'm happy. And like I said before, Merry Christmas. You guys got any questions, let me know. And hope to see you on the next video for hopefully New Year's if I get it right. But little tip here. You can run more than one train in conventional mode on the same track if they're not, not exactly the same speed. This one's a little quicker. Can't leave it on too long, but it's kind of fun to have more than one running around. Let's see here. I'm going to slip it right in front of the blue train here. There we go. Look at that sucker go. It's kind of fun. Thanks for watching.